Hi guys, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 15. My youngest son, Azariah, is in the hospital. He is baby number 15. He is in the NICU. And so these menu plans, we're doing the pantry challenge. And so these menu plans, basically what happens is my daughter sends me lists of things and or videos of just a bunch of stuff that they brought back from our main house, like way up in Maine, and they brought that back down to the Wells house, which is further down in Maine, closer to where we are at in Boston. And then with the list of all the things, then I tried to plan and prepare meals from that. If you did not see yet my February grocery menu plan or meal plan, I'll try to link that in the description box below, because this is kind of some of what's going on with that there. Just so you can get a visual of what we created. So we, as in I made the plan and they put it into action. So they, these are basically two of my older daughters, and then I also have a 18-year-old son up there, and they have a few children there. They plan and prepare meals. My husband is also there. My husband can't cook. Well, he can fry an egg. He can make grilled cheese, which is very handy if I am pregnant. Grilled cheeses could be very handy. You know, a mean peanut butter and jelly. Actually, he makes grilled cheese better than me. So if I'm pregnant and really want to grilled cheese, I'm always like, could you make me a grilled cheese? So yes, he is not a chef, but he works hard. And he is usually not there for main meal times anyway. He is there for breakfast most days, depending on shifts and all that type of stuff. Anyhow, these are the meals that they put together for this week. And yeah, I think there's a nice little bread bowl. We used some of that we used some of that celery that we canned last year. We also used some of that peach barbecue sauce. Yum. So all these things that we were doing and we didn't know the future plans for it, we created meals from those things. So during the summertime, I'm like, I have all this celery. I have no clue what I am going to do with the abundance of the celery here. Well, now it's being put into action of what we're doing with the celery. Still trying to decide what this summer is going to look like and what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out one day at a time. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this week's video. So here we have some zucchini bread with some creamy pie filling over some mashed potatoes, and then just a plate of various vegetables and an orange and sausage patty. Next up, we have some rice here, and we are serving this beef and peas and carrots. We just creamed it up just like you would do with SOS and put it over some rice. So this is steak and sweet potatoes, carrots, and blueberries. Here is some pulled pork over rice with carrots. So here she has the ingredients to make some fried rice. So she's doing pork fried rice here, and she is going to put this. First, she's going to do the rice in the Instapot. We usually do broth. She's doing water here, but you can do broth or water. And going to put that on with the rice button. It's usually 12 minutes for brown rice. I think a little shorter for white rice. Yes, professional tape on the top of our handle. But hey, it works. That's what counts. So now she's going to take an onion with some oil and throw some pork in there and cook that up. Pork fried rice can even be used with like leftover pieces of pork if you want to, but she's just using some pork here, and she is going to put this on the stovetop and cook that up with peas and carrots. So she's going to serve some of the rice that she already cooked into that mixture and add some of the coconut aminos in there to make the pork fried rice. Getting all steamy in here. She does have an different camera than my camera. That's why it's so dark here. So please, we apologize for that. So she is going to serve this up on the plate here. So that is why it is darker. It's not because the lighting, it's just because she has just an older Android phone, and So she's serving this here with some pears. We have canned peaches and pears left, and then some berries. We actually have quite a bit of canned fruit left for the serving, so that it's actually really good. It looks just like a blob, but it is super yummy. I love fried rice. It is so versatile. Throw leftovers in, throw new stuff in there, throw any vegetables you want, and you have a great meal. Do you remember this homemade canned peach salsa when we did it over this summer? So we are just throwing that peach salsa in with those meatballs and cooking up some rice. Our favorite way to cook up rice is just in the Instapot because it's so quick and easy. So she served that up along with those peach barbecue meatballs and green beans. Oh, it does not look delicious. I bet it was so yummy. Okay guys, come see what we're gonna cook over here. She's getting all the ingredients out. You can see that celery. What do you think we're gonna make? She is making cream of celery soup. So she cut up an onion and put some fat in there. You could use butter, you could use coconut oil. And then she is adding some garlic to that to give it some nice flavor. Remember when we did that garlic? It's our home garlic, and we just crushed it up with some oil, and now we're using it all year. So now she's putting some celery in there. She's using 4 pints of celery, and we canned that together too, guys. Look at all the things we did together. We had a very fulfilling summer, didn't we? So all this celery, everyone was like, what are you going to do with all that celery? Well, this is one of the things that we're going to do. So she's going to add some arrowroot powder to that to thicken it up. We choose arrowroot powder over cornstarch or flour just because it is the most diabetic and gluten-free friendly for our family. So that is what we use. And it's actually cheaper than organic cornstarch. We use either organic or non-GMO corn because that's something that is heavily GMO'd. So she is just seasoning this up with some salt and pepper, and you could use whatever type of seasonings you want that your family enjoys. So she's just kind of going basic here, throwing some milk in here. This is what she had for milk. So I'm gonna throw that in there. Obviously, if you have a cow and you're milking a cow, then you can use that type of milk. We do not, because our cow is in the form of hamburger now. So she is using that milk, turning it down a little bit to cook and thicken up. And she will let that just cook for a little while until it thickens up, and then we'll be back. So while she was letting that thicken up a little bit, she put 3 cups of warm water into the bowl. We are using up just regular flour at this time, and she is going to make just some basic bread bowls over here, which are so yummy. We used to make them all the time, but don't because of all of our medical issues. So 1.5 tablespoons of yeast is going to go in there. Just kind of stir it up, and I think they call it proof. Just let it sit there for a couple minutes and go just kind of mix together, and it helps the yeast. I don't know what you call it. It's proof, I think. 1 tablespoon of salt. Personally, I do not add the salt in there. I usually add the salt at the end. 2 tablespoons of sugar will help it proof. 4 tablespoons of butter. Usually you don't add the salt in with the yeast at the same time because it can prevent it from getting a full rise. You usually would do that at the end, but that's okay. It looks like they got a fine rise on there. So egg, whisk, 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 whisk. Here we go, stirring it all up. You could have also melted that oil if you wanted to, or used avocado or any type of oil. Olive oil. So now we're going to add flour. 7 to 9 cups of flour. Basically start with 7 cups, stir it up, see how that looks. See if it's the right consistency or if it looks like it can be put into a bread bowl, and if it can't, then add more. So always stir all the ingredients with less, and then you can always add more. So you notice as she is putting the flour in here that it is going to get stiffer, and she's going to end up doing this with her hands. It works so much better if you do it with your hands. So our family does not eat a lot of bread anymore, but now we're just trying to use things up. We used to do lots of bread products, and then we had 2 children with type 1 diabetes, and we have lots of people that are gluten intolerant or gluten sensitive. So yeah, just a bunch of different needs now in our family, so we changed now for the needs that we have in our family. So these are sprayed out, and we're just going to make balls and put them in there after they have been kneaded for a couple minutes. And yeah, you could use, if you wanted to, partial wheat in this. You wouldn't have to do all white if you're doing it. Years ago, we used to use einkorn and or spelt flour for all of our baking, and we used to grind that at home, but we still had issues with it. A lot of people say, well, if you use those flours and you're not going to have intolerances, but that is not true. So you just cut the top off, you scoop out the center, and then you put the soup right in the bowl, and it is so yummy, guys, so yummy. So they enjoyed this meal. It is one of like those comfort foods, just a bread bowl and cream of whatever soup, and this just happens to be cream of celery. It is oh so delicious. So a lot of times with mine, I would have it like so it was there was a little more like liquid in it. And that's about it. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day.